Hello, everyone. Welcome. And Bryan Rogers, our county administrator. 13 years you've been with us in Lawrence County.
Going on my 14th.
How about that?
It's been fun, but time flies.
It does, don't it? Took the words right out of my mouth. Well, it's a happy week in Lawrence County now. Well, we passed, and I say we in our region passed the T-Splosh a couple years ago. I know Lawrence County voted it down 400, 500, 600 votes, I think. But as far as the region, we passed it. Well, now we're going to be the recipient of a brand new bridge over the Oconee River, something that I've been hearing since I was a small child we needed.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Well, I'm excited about it. When I first got here, going on 14 years ago, it was a concept I'd always heard about the need for a new river crossing, and on several instances, I've unfortunately seen firsthand why we need those river crossings. From when we have accidents on the bridges, and it backs up traffic immediately for miles back that direction. But it's going to happen. Matter of fact, we're going to have, as you well know, we're going to have our groundbreaking this week. And the project's going to get kicked off. It's approximately 18-month build-out. We're hoping to have the project opened up September of 2016, about a $12 million project. And it's a culmination of a lot of work from a lot of people before I ever got here. So we're excited about it, and it's going to be a great asset for Lawrence County and our surrounding counties that rely on us so much as an economic engine.
And don't you think it's going to help, especially from that Washington County, Sandersville, Tennell?
Oh, yeah.
Just a lot easier route coming, and we're town. You know that. People from these outlying 8 or 9 counties it touches, they come to town in Dublin.
Yeah, we are an economic engine for, about 8 or 9 counties around here, but 3 or 4 of the counties are on that side of the river that have to come this way. And the people I know from those communities are so excited about it. You've turned a trip that's usually 35 to 40 minutes into a 10 or 15-minute trip from some people in Johnson and Washington counties from where the bridge is going to come across. Not to mention the people in our own community. If you're living out on the Ben Hall Lake properties or Thundering Springs, talking to them, it's 20, 25 minutes to get to the mall or to the hospital. You'll be 5 minutes from the hospital now in malls and eating places like that. So it's going to open up another segment of our community. I think it'll bring us closer as a community, and it's certainly going to make people much more convenience for people.
Yeah, and it's exciting to get this new bridge. Like you said, we've waited so long, but only 9 of the 12 regions in the state of Georgia actually voted in a T-Splosh, which I think us, Columbus, Augusta, across this corridor. But I was reading Chris Clark, president of the Chamber of Commerce, mention that this could actually get us in the lead as far as economic development. We could step out in front of a lot of these places because Macon voted it down, Atlanta voted it down. We always hear Atlanta gets everything. Well, they're not going to get the good roads and the bridges that we're going to be getting over the next few years.
Well, so much of economic development now is on workforce. You've got to have the available workforce to be able to get industry. To get the workforce here, it can't always be supplied just from your county alone. It takes other counties around us. I said earlier, we're kind of the economic hub for about a 9-county region. That River Bridge project is going to just give so much better access to those other counties. Those people will be able to come over here and get jobs. They'll be spending their money. But you got to have those transportation routes for the workforce to be able to get to the industry. They don't want everybody showing up late for work because they got into a traffic jam. So yes, transportation routes from moving the finished products back and forth to their finished location, but also just getting the employees to work is such a big aspect of it. And we're fortunate we're going to be able to do a lot of creative things since we have the T-Splosh in place. And it's that, along with other things we're doing here in our county, is just positioning us just for the future of Lawrence County as far as economic development is just bright as it can be.
If people don't realize, moving people, these counties we're talking about, you're talking about well over 200,000 people.
Yes, when you look at all of them.
You're moving and trying to, and if people don't realize that, go to Central Drive 5 in the afternoon or downtown Dublin or Highway 80 or some of these major arteries, and you'll see, we may not be Atlanta, but it feels like it when you're stuck in that traffic.
Anybody trying to get across the River Bridge at 5 o'clock or either in the morning or trying to get into one of the businesses that are located in East Dublin or whatever, if you have to go across traffic, it's a nightmare. It will make those, I don't think it'll take anything away from those. I think it'll open up those businesses because they'll be so much more easily accessible because of the traffic. So it's going to be just tremendous for this county.
And I believe it's going to save us money, isn't it? Because I was looking, the 9 of the 12 counties voted down. Now, if they get road work or bridge work done over the next couple of years, they've got to match the funds with 30% of local funds. Now, the T-Splosh.
Yeah, the monies we get from the state now for transportation are through the LMIG program, which is a very good program. The state's done a good job of modifying that program and to the benefits and the strengths of counties and city governments. Our matching proceeds are only 10%, whereas if we were not one of the T-Splosh counties that had voted in the TIA projects, then we would have to match it the increased 30% amount. So, yeah, it saves us money from the other transportation dollars that we get from the state.
Okay, it's a brand new year, calendar year. I know it's not fiscal year for the county, which our fiscal year goes when?
We're July 1 to June 30th.
Okay, so we're actually in the middle of the year. But what kind of financial condition is Lawrence County in?
Well, we're in good condition. We're strong. Our fund balance is adequate. We could always be stronger. There's always areas for improvement. But the fact that the leadership that the commissioners and the constitutional officers have provided and sticking with our budget plans and keeping our millage rate low is paid off. The things we're able to do with such a low millage rate and then also be strong financially like we are is tremendous, and it's just a testament to the cooperation that the commissioners and constitutional officers have made. They're frugal people. They get a lot of criticism thrown their way, but when you put us up against any county in the state of Georgia, we are consistently, in the top tier counties.
Yeah.
So,
Amen.
and the credit goes to the public officials, the commissioners, the constitutional officers, things like that.
And we are moving forward. I know 2010, during that era, we were stagnant. I
Yes.
mean, looking back, we know we were, and there were some tough decisions made from those people that you're
Yes,
talking
there
about
was.
there. But we are moving forward. It may be a slow pace, but we are moving forward, aren't we?
We're starting to see our community grow again. A lot of it, I think, is due to the excitements created by the industry that we've been able to announce in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Our development authority has worked tirelessly and worked very hard with the county and City of Dublin, City of East Dublin, and other communities to try to get the jobs here for the people. It's paid off, as you can well see from the announcements we've made, and we're starting to see houses being built again.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to several contractors in our community that are excited because they're building spec houses again, where that,
Right.
2-3 years ago, you didn't hear anything like that. But yes, our community's growing. We're starting to see improvement. I'm starting to see smiles on some of the businesses' faces. Anytime you go downtown and through other parts of our community and see the restaurants and shopping places packed full, it's a good sight. And it's been a long time, see that again.
Yeah. And it is good to hear the builders building spec houses and putting people in them, because we do depend on property tax. I know that's just a percentage of the revenue for the county, but what percentage is property taxes in our budget?
Well, it only represents about 30% in our budget, so it's not everybody thinks that we pay so many property tax. Now that's our that's for us. Now the large majority of the property taxes goes to fund the school systems.
That's right.
We get about 20% of the overall property taxes that are collected in Lawrence County comes to us. The rest goes to the boards of education. Of our budget, our general fund budget, property taxes make up about 30% of our revenues. The rest of it comes from sales tax, fines, forfeitures, and other miscellaneous items.
And we've got some activity going over at the courthouse. Our courthouse is, I guess, 50 or so years old now, a little over 50 years old, and we've really updated it through the years, done a lot of work, and of course we're standing in this beautiful annex. I know you got to be proud of that.
We are. We certainly are.
What's going on at the courthouse?
Right now, the project we're in the midst of is changing out the mechanical HVAC. We're currently in the design phase. Hope to be rounding that up during the month of January, and ready to submit out the RFPs in February. Select a contractor to perform the job, and hopefully wrap the whole project up sometime in the month of April before it gets too hot. We don't want to be changing out air conditioners over there during the middle of the summer. So like I said, we're in the process of that. The next project that's up and coming on that is changing out the windows of the courthouse. Those are all the original windows, from my understanding. So we will be, trying to start that project ongoing next.
And recreation, we are so proud of Southern Pines, and I guess I see you more at the recreation department during the year. We see each other than any place I see you around town, but what a great contribution to our quality of life here. I know you are, as well as I am, proud of the job we're doing in recreation.
It's second to none. If you go anywhere in the state of Georgia, they talk about the Southern Pines facility. It's such an economic engine for our community. I don't think people realize all those tournaments that we have there, they bring in such a large amount of sales tax dollars that allows us to keep our millage rates low here and benefits the property owners here. The staff at the recreation department is excellent. The facilities is excellent. Our only limitations is more motel rooms to be able to suit everybody for the tournaments we have. It's great to see. Like you said, you and I see each other a great deal out there. It's fun to be a part of it. I'm proud of it, and we hope to see that continue for many years.
And the hotel motel, that industry is so important here. I know the state economic development, I always hear heads in beds. And of course, we need that as far as that economic development, to get them here. They eat at the restaurants, and they buy gas, and hopefully stop and maybe buy some furniture, and some of them buy cars here. And it just trickles right on down, don't it?
Yeah, it just turns that dollar that someone else from another community spends here just continues to turn over and over and over and turn into more dollars for people. But it was a great investment. The commissioners and city councils that put that facility together, Danny Jones and his staff, they did a great job, and that's something that we invested in as a community. It's going to pay dividends many years into the future.
I don't let a month go by I don't read the minutes of the county commission meetings. We don't cover them here on TV 35, mainly because there's so much there. It's not really good television, I guess, to be quite honest, but so much running the business of a county like that, and a lot of it we don't want to air anyway, but I've noticed a lot of road closures the past year. Tell me what's behind that.
Well, we are such a large county. Right now, we presently have 1,178 miles of county-maintained roads. That's not state routes or federal routes. That is the ones that the county is responsible for maintaining. That's a lot. A little over 500 miles of those are still dirt roads. Anytime we get a chance now, it's a lot cheaper for us to close a road than it is to ever pave one. Some of the roads we have in our counties are people don't live on them. There's not even any utilities or anything on them.
Why would you keep that road?
Exactly. So, when we don't usually, start the request. We don't initiate it. Usually, it's the landowners along the road that said, "Hey, I'm tired of people dumping out trash here and illegal hunting and everything, people trespassing on our property. No one lives on this road. We own all the land, and we're not planning on letting anybody live on this road. It's going to stay in our family. When y'all close it, we go, hey, thank you. We'd love to do something like that because the monies we save from having to maintain that road is just tremendous. So any chance we get, we're going to close a road that the property owners, as long as it don't definitely serve, we're not going to be closing school bus routes and things like that. But like I said, we've closed in the last 3 years approximately 15 miles of dirt roads, county dirt roads, and that's just money in the bank.
Yeah, it adds up, don't it?
It sure does.
Yeah, and that's
less
being,
headaches.
and going back to what you said earlier, that's being good stewards of taxpayers' money.
That's
Why
exactly
scrape
right.
the road or service the road or what all you have to do or pave the road? That gets expensive. But what about the recycling centers? Is everything working good there?
Yes, we've been extremely proud of the job Evans Disposal has done with our centers. It's a little over a year and a half, I guess, into the process. The operation of the facilities are going just like it was with the county. Are there still complaints? Are there still problems? Yes.
No.
But they're no more so than they were when the county was operating.
Right.
The bottom line is it saved us over $100,000 a year in operational costs because the company that did get it had the excess capacity to operate within what they already had to service those centers. So it made good sense. I don't want people to think that, they just did better at business than we are. We were operating them very cheap. But when you can they, like I said, the company that got it had excess capacity with their existing people.
It was set up to do it.
So it saved us a lot of money, and I feel like we haven't suffered in the production of the centers themselves. I think they're still being operated, very well. If anybody has any problems, which there's always going to be problems and concerns, we always ask them to contact the commissioner's office. We still, have a great relationship with the company, and we're going to work out those problems and solve them just as soon as we can. If we're not made aware of the problems or issues, there's no way we can work to fix them. Yeah. So just communicate with us. That's all we ask.
And I see it so much. I know you do too, but I think we got like 17 centers. How many we got?
19.
19 now. But it seems like those roads that's going to the recycling center, there seems to be trash everywhere. Yeah. And that bothers me personally. This is from a personal standpoint. I know it bothers you. I just cannot stand litter, and we've got such a beautiful community. But is there any ordinance or law in place, people covering their trucks, or is there anything that could help in that area?
Not covering their trucks. I don't think we could ever do that. It just goes back to responsibility. Mm-hmm. You think people would realize, I'm amazed at these trash bags that blows off behind people. When you get there, if you put 5 trash bags in your back of your pickup truck, mm-hmm. and when you get there's only 4, mm-hmm. you have a responsibility to go back and find that trash bag. Yeah. And, we find a lot of the trash that you see on there, they're not people intentionally throwing out, although we have a great deal of that going on also. But it's just people not being responsible and going back and picking that trash up when it falls off their truck. They just say, a lot of people say, well, the prisoners need something to do. Well, they don't realize we spend almost $100,000 a year paying the state of Georgia for those 2 detention crews that we have. They're not free to us. We have to pay for all that, and it costs us approximately right at $50,000 per crew, and we have 2 crews, and they're constantly picking up, and it's a problem. And it's something that I wish I could say was going to go away. And if people took more responsibility and had more respect for things, it would go away.
Yeah, and it's our responsibility.
Yes.
It's not the prisoners. I know they have a job to do, but it's our responsibility. And I'll have to say, last week I felt so good. I was headed to the recycling center and saw a man pulled over beside the road, trash bag beside the road. He had stopped. Somebody let it fall off the truck. He stopped and put it on his truck. And it wasn't far behind me. He pulls in and got rid of that. So we can help out with those areas, I know.
We definitely can. And I encourage people to do that. It's just something. And if you see illegal dumping, please contact us. Mm-hmm. We write a lot of tickets each week on illegal dumping or littering, mm-hmm. things of that nature. And it just goes back to a respect and responsibility thing with people. So.
Okay, gas prices down. Last time we talked, gas prices were up, and I know it was taking a bite out of the budget. Kind of the reverse now. It's pretty good, huh?
It's great right now. I'm afraid if we talk about it, it may go back up. Let's go knock on wood or something. Don't want to jinx it, but yes, it's helping our bottom line greatly. Mm-hmm. When you scrape as many miles of roads as we do, and you have to perform the other maintenance on the roads, diesel and fuel, and the sheriff's department running up and down the road, it takes a lot of our budget goes to that, but. I think I was looking the other day when we were figuring our budget. We had figured over $3 a gallon for gas and even more for fuel. And we took bids on gas prices yesterday. I think it was $1.60
wow.
6 cents a gallon we came in.
And great.
So it helps our bottom line. It's exciting, and I hope it continues.
I know you've got to be proud of our staff here with the county because, and I know most of them, but you see them on the road, they seem happy to be on the job. They always assist in any way. You got to be proud of your people.
We're very proud of our people. I think one thing the commissioners have really stressed to all the staff members and employees of Orange County that they want them to be courteous and customer service oriented. This is a business, and we don't have all the answers, but they expect us to do our best and work with people and try to find them the answers they need. They demand it. Our commissioners are they don't ask for a whole lot, but they expect us to be courteous and show good customer service.
And our commissioners work. And y'all can tell how busy Bryan is. The phone ringing. It's rang a few times since we've been talking, but That pretty well happens all day, don't it?
Yeah, and I'm sorry I hadn't turned it off. I guess I should have just turned the thing
that's
off.
fine, because it's a very demanding job. But you go down, Mr. Roscoe, Emery Lake, Tommy Daniels, the whole Mr. Buddy Adams. Not only are they these are working commissioners.
They are. They are here every morning. They all want reports that what's going on in their district. You know, unfortunately, issues happen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'd say 5 days a week. You know, I get calls from all the commissioners. They want to know what's going on in their district, what complaints are out there. They like to respond back to the citizens, and and they like to know what we come up with to solve it. We don't get to solve all the problems and complaints, and usually 9 times out of 10 it's things that we really don't have any control over. But we're here to respond and listen and try to help out any way we can, and that's what the commissioners expect of us. And our employees do a great job. They make my life a whole lot easier by taking the initiative and taking responsibility for their jobs like they do. I'm in a great place.
I'll tell you one place you responded. I know, I'll just say 5 years ago when we had a bad storm here, things wasn't near as organized as it is today, just the tornado this past year. It's amazing to see how everybody has a place. They know where that is all through the county. I know you're out at the main headquarters. That's your job to do, and Don's got a job, and they all got a job, but we have really come a long way. You've got a great plan, and I know we owe it to a lot of people to come up with that plan, but we pretty well got it down to a science.
Yeah, Don Bryant and the rest of the emergency service crews, from law enforcement to our public works crews, EMS, EMA, the rural fire, they collectively come up with this plan, and we have implemented it unfortunately on several occasions in the last couple of years. It works great, but there again, it's a testament to the dedication and responsibility that those guys take. I would put our emergency services response from 911 through EMA, EMS, rural fire, and law enforcement we compare well to any county in the state of Georgia or any city. But like you said, unfortunately, we've had to deal with those issues a lot in the last couple of years, and I don't think that's going to go away according to what the weather people tell us. But if something happens, the citizens of Lawrence County can rest assured we got professionals out there. We have a plan in place, and it does work well, and we'll be there to help out when and if it happens again.
But training's everything. You mentioned Don Bryant, Terry Cobb right in there, and the rest of the guys and girls. But I've always said if I get in a wreck in a close-by county, I want them to drag me over into Lawrence County so Terry and them can come get me, because I'm telling you, these people, and I've ridden with them, and I see how they're trained, but that's everything, isn't it?
It is. We there again, it goes back to the leadership that the commissioners have provided. I know one of the things when I first got here over 10 years ago was the commissioners wanted to greatly improve our EMS response, because we are such a large county, and it's not like you can do in a lot of the small counties where you just snatch somebody up and grab them and try to get them to the hospital and let them take care of them. We're so big, we've got to be able to treat patients and take care of them and sustain them until we can get them to the hospital. That took a large commitment from equipment, from training to the top personnel we have. But the commissioners were adamant that we were going to have the top-notch EMS service that we have. And in the last couple of years, we've also added the first responders that are cross-trained as firemen and EMTs, and they're first people on the scene usually, and they have the equipment necessary to sustain someone till the ambulances can get there. So we've had a huge focus on emergency services in our county. That was one of the commissioners' main priority. I think they've accomplished that task. We're going to continue to build on what we have on that, and hopefully even make even more improvements. But they do a great job.
And, of course, the enhanced 911. A lot of people think 911 is 911, but it's different everywhere. And we've got the enhanced service where if I'm out around my pond and I call in, they can track my cell phone right to where I'm at. And that, I'm telling you, that saves lives.
It is. A lot of people don't realize 911 has gone through such a transition, because everybody went to the advanced 911. Used to just be, you pick up your landline, you don't ever have to tell them where you're at, but it pops up where your location is on the screen. Well, then with the advent of cell phones, and landlines disappearing, Then you had issues coming up where, you had people calling on cell phones. We didn't know where they were. Well, then, a lot of the SPLOST that we have spent in Lawrence County was upgrading our 911 system to the next level, the phase 2 type tracking devices where we can triangulate based on the cell tower that your signal hit and locate you within 25 to 30 feet of your location. And I'd say, I actually looked at some reports the other day. 42% of our calls that come into our 911 center now, the emergency calls, come based on cell phones. They're no longer the landlines. It's imperative that we have that technology where we can locate you, because when someone calls in and they're hysterical because an accident's happened, these people aren't calm, cool, and collected.
That's right.
They're upset because when you call 911, there's a problem. That we can track you, that technology is continuing to evolve and improving. We're getting ready now to do another upgrade to our 911 center this summer. It's one of the projects we'll be bringing before the commissioners, but it's time because of the technology that has changed since the last time we upgraded it.
Wow.
So it'll be able to do more bells and whistles, bigger and better things. But as some of the commissioners said, if there's anything we can invest in more, if we can save a life or we can rescue someone, that's tax dollars very well spent. So very proud of our 911 center. We have one of the most technologically advanced ones there is. They work well with all our other responding agencies, and they're continuing to get better, and we're going to continue to provide them with equipment and training they need to do their job.
Again, that quality of life. We live in a great community, don't we?
We are an awesome community with awesome leadership, and that, from economic development to your commissioners to your constitutional officers and city officials, it's one collaborative effort. You don't see the fussing and fighting in our community that you see so often everywhere else. We have the desire to grow our community and make it a better place to live, and like I said, we're starting to really reap the fruits of that labor.
Okay, last question on that same note. Our dear friend George Roussel retired this month, and I already miss him. I missed him before he left, but just a personal comment about George.
Well, George and I were talking about yesterday, and I actually sent him an email wanting to know if he could go to lunch. Of course, he was too busy playing golf, so I told him, if he could, fix some time to meet me for lunch or something like that off the golf course. It'd be nice. And he said he would try to fit me in. But no, I do miss George. George and I, man, we got real close. I think that was one thing that helped our cities and counties come together, was the close relationship that myself and George had, myself and Larry Drew had. And we all tried to work together as one community and help each other out. And there was just a true sense of cooperation and friendship there. George will be missed. But, he helped me when I first got here. Just know, the personalities of the community. That's so important. Knowing how to, how this group acts, how this group, and you have to treat people a certain way, and how to work with certain people. And he was a true friend, a true professional, and I'm going to miss him. And he's still going to be here. I'll still aggravate him, and now he's aggravating me more than ever. So
got more free time.
He's got a lot of free time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good luck on your 14th year, and I hope we have many, many more years, successful years here in Lawrence County. And on behalf of the station, we really appreciate what you do, Bryan.
Well, I appreciate y'all, everything y'all do for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.